They're here to make a dollar. I'm here to make a difference. Don't get into it today. There will be many lessons. I hope you all have your notepad and take these lessons to heart.
And number two, to enjoy the whole way through.
And, I appreciate those of you who support the work, because I don't get on here babbling. I get on here giving you information that is evergreen. You can look at this information 5 years from now.
When you write, how did you move forward? What do you mean? How do you move forward? I'm not comparing myself to anyone. And you see, the thing is, I'm happy to see it. If I see somebody who, is really doing their thing, I think it's a beautiful thing, because I'm a super player. So, for example, I remember the first time I actually went salsa dancing. Long story short, I was in university and I was dating this Latina, pretty little ting, super pale, dark, jet black hair, nice little curves, feminine, but she was a feminist in disguise. Terrible thing. But anyway, the whole time in college, she said, hey, come salsa dancing with me. And I'm like, I'm black. No, thank you. She'd be like, come salsa dancing. I'm like, look, didn't I tell you I'm black? And, she'd keep on every week. Hey, we're going salsa dancing. You should come. I'm like, y'all ain't gonna be in there twerking? She's like, no. I was like, okay, I'm gonna skip it this time. She kept doing it. And then it was finally time for us to graduate university. And she says to me, she says, hey, you've never come one time salsa dancing. We're about to graduate. This is my favorite place. I go every weekend. My friends go. You never come. Just come this one time. And I was like, all right, I'll come. So then I show up to the salsa dance spot. Mind you, I've never salsa danced at all. You heard me? Like, I was still like carrying around clappers. True story. I was at Berkeley with 2 clappers on me. Yeah, in real life. So that tells you the kind of mindset I was in. So I go in the salsa spot, like kind of like already with a chip on my shoulder, like looking around like these zesty in here. You ain't here with Rico Suave. You hear me? I expect to walk in there. Everybody got their hair greased up and, they got their shirt unbuttoned with their chest hair out and flat collars. Like, well, everybody think they Lou Bega in here. Little bit of Monica's what I like. A little bit of Rita every night. I expect these boys to be out there off of that weirdo stuff. So I'm walking in there like, bro, got me here with these boys. And there's this one little sloppy Latino cat. Bro looked like Diego Rivera, the artist. I think he's a Mexican artist. Not a good looking guy, if you know what Diego Rivera looks like. Anyway, so bro was dancing with this tall, thick thing. And Brody was probably like 5'4", 5'5" on a good day. He was sweating profusely. I mean, profusely. Brody was sweating in a disgusting way, like some sort of a pig. Actually, pigs don't sweat now, do they? But you get the point. It was disgusting. And anyway, so he danced with baby girl. She tall and thick. And bro was maneuvering this broad so beautifully that she just looked like a twig. You heard me? She looked like a twig. She was the puppet. He was the puppet master. And it was really a thing of beauty to see Brody work. And he was so short when he spun shorty, he had to jump up just to get his arm over her head. But he was doing his thing. And I saw that he stayed in that dance rotation. You heard me? As soon as he was finished with her, another little female walk up and ask him to dance, and he'd do his thing. Now, you mentioned a superior man. Was he superior to me in dancing? By far, not even close. Was I sitting over there like, oh, man, F this dude, like off some hater stuff? Hell nah, man, I'm a super player. I tip my hat to a player when I see him. I like to see him work. You dig? Listen, man, if I'm Mike Jordan and Kobe then showed up to the league and I'm on my way out the league, I'm not going to hate on Kobe. I might give him a tip. You heard me? I might, play one-on-one, block a couple of shots, steal the ball, show him I do this, but I'm going to give him his respect. I like to see people winning. And that's the thing about being a super player. It's only a nerd really feels like you got to compete with people, man. Let's strive together. So like, you got to get your head right. So that's number one. Then on the financial side, money doesn't really matter like that. Money is great for quality of life, but in terms of like really enjoying the best things in life, money's not the factor. And I can tell you one of my OGs, Kevin, he used to slay all kind of broads who had men who were well off. You dig what I'm saying? And he did that just off the mouthpiece. He blessed them with some ism and it's a wrap, which is to say that it's not about how much money you have. It's only the insecure guys. They have to fill up their emptiness with dollars. I think, I don't know, who was that? I can't remember who the philosopher was, but the quotation is that outer show is a poor substitute for inner worth. Outer show material is a poor substitute for inner worth. So if you don't have anything within you, yeah, you're going to need the money. You know what I'm saying? But listen, man, I don't have to compare myself to any other man because I'm the big homie. You dig? I'm the big homie. And if you don't feel like you're really a boss, you're always going to be comparing yourself and feeling insecure. Like this kind of question, I ain't going to lie to you, Brody. This ain't never crossed my mind in life. I never went somewhere and been like, oh, that guy's taller than me. Like that doesn't matter to me. I never went somewhere like that guy has more money, like, and felt some kind of way about it. Like that doesn't even cross my mind. It's not in my nature. Listen to me, bruh. Like, for example, I pull up to the valet in Vegas, man, and who knows what I might be riding. You know, I pull up, I'm riding clean. No, matter of fact, check this out. I remember I was at Fontainebleau or Fontainebleau. Is that how it's pronounced? Fontainebleau. I was at Fontainebleau like maybe 2 months ago. And I pull up and, you know, they come over to the valet and, you know, I'm in the two-tone, you heard me, $250,000 on wheels. And then, so one person comes over to me and one person goes to the guy behind me and he's in the Bentley truck, which to me is just But the other valet that walked up to him was like, "Oh, you're in the Bentley today." And I was like, who is bro? Like, who is bro? Like, I'm the big homie. I was like, who is bro? Talking about you in the Bentley today. Like, who is bro? And I turned back. You heard me? I just had to get a nigga a salute. Why? Because that's kind of cat I am. You heard me? Like, I could turn around hating, but I'd rather turn around like, wait, what? Like, oh, the other big homie is here. That's a beautiful thing. I turn around and salute, bro. He salute me back. We go into Fontainebleau, and you know, I'm doing my thing, and then he actually pulls up to the spot that I'm at. You know, I got an obscene amount of money out, and then he hop in with like, you know, small change, you dig? And then he was over like, "Oh, bro, you serious out here?" I was like, "Bro, we got to live serious." And so we chop it up, have a good conversation among bosses. So, you know, that's just how it is. It's like you want to be on a level with people who are really playing hard. You don't want to hate people who are playing hard. You stay in a loser position when you feel jealousy in your heart. That's really for the broads, man. Not even that's not for women. That's for the broads. You dig? So anyways, have I met a man who is stronger, physically stronger? Absolutely. I remember one time I was at Berkeley and I used to go through the pickup games playing hoop. Y'all don't know. I used to be a real hooper. You dig? I ruptured my Achilles tendon and then I stopped. Actually, I kept hooping and then I started boxing. Then I stopped hooping. I used to really be serious about hooping. And I used to go in there and run pickups and just body-ish. And then the homie Laurel, who plays for Cal football, one day, you know, we was chopping up in class and he was like, "You know, Cat, I got to go ball with you, bro. So I heard you be in there." I was like, "Yeah, bro, I'll be in there." And then so one day we coordinated and he came into the hoop court. Man, this nigga showed me what an athlete was. I was feeling like a racist. Like, God, these blacks, they jump so high. They're so fast. They're swift. Oh my goodness, slavery. No wonder we picked them. Like, bro was jumping to kingdom come. He was running too fast like a cheetah. Like, kind of shit is this? And then I realized, I was like, I'm not a collegiate athlete like I thought I was. I thought I just like missed my opportunity. Like, nah, bro, you didn't have it. You heard me? Like, when I saw the way bro was moving on the court, I was like, "Quit, you ain't have it like that. Like, that ball's an athlete, man. What the hell are you doing?" And then I realized, like, yeah, maybe I can like beat the brakes off of, you know, like these Berkeley nerds in basketball and like the random black dudes who like work in the cafeteria and come play basketball. Like, I could beat them, but nah, Brody is like a real fine athlete. And I just had to respect it. You dig? And realize, but that's what he does. That's not what I do. I do it casually. Like, bro doing this at a serious level. In terms of wealthier, like, yeah, I've been around a ton of people who are wealthier. It usually never factors in, to be honest with you. The only time wealth factors in is if you're doing something together and they're about to do something that's way out of your budget. You know what I'm saying? Like, then it'll become a factor. And usually that doesn't happen unless somebody's like, "Hey, let's catch a private flight from here, like to another country. Hey, if you want to get in on this, like your half will be 150,000. Like, then it'll be a factor. But usually that's not the case. So it's just like, you know, enjoy yourself, have a good time, and just be real, man. Be real about stuff. Don't lie. And then you say sharper. Nobody's sharper than the big homie, Brody. Like, that doesn't happen. I have had to make the adjustment of being around people who are more intelligent. The problem is when you're around dumb broads or you're around dumb guys, which is most of your time, and then you get around smart people or even just around Germans, for example, they're sharper and they're paying attention and they're listening and, you know, they're more engaged, and you tend to like let your brain go to sleep too often when you're around dumb people, you might repeat yourself, or you might ask a question twice, or you might not be listening attentively. And then when you get around smart people, they're like, really, they're just so quick. And then you realize like, oh, well, I got to speed my shit back up. You're be like, I got to get on. So that's why I always tell you guys, it's not about who's intelligent or how intelligent you are. It's about how often you are intelligent. And I appreciate you asking this question, World Class Tweaker, because a lot of males, especially, they feel inferiority. Women feel jealousy. Males will feel inferiority. But that's why I always encourage you guys to take Boss University. The reason I say take Boss University, and you should take that course, especially made by me, is because you got to realize that I came from nothing. A lot of people like to lie and say that they came from nothing. Like there's a Gary Vaynerchuk, and bro is a clown. I saw bro at the Win. We're at the Win together, and bro is a super clown. But he claims that he came from nothing. Well, how'd you come from nothing when your parents are entrepreneurs and your dad gave you a business? Man, my dad barely gave me 10 minutes. Your dad gave you a business. You heard me? So how'd you come from nothing? How are you a business guru and a business genius? How can you teach grit and overcoming? You don't know shit, homie. You came from a silver spoon, my boy. When I tell you to take Boss University, I'm talking to you from someone who came out of the mud. Not only did I grow up in a ghetto, I was the poorest kid in the ghetto. Why? Because everybody else moms could maintain their Section 8. My moms couldn't even maintain Section 8. You heard me? Yeah, when you on crack and your mind ain't right and you chasing that high and you don't care about nothing, and your pops is in the pen for selling dope, and your grandma has dementia, she ain't all there mentally, and none of your family is around because your uncles is all locked up too, and you got to go out and grind and make things happen. None of these boys came from the mud like I came from the mud. You ever talk to anybody that grew up with me? And mind you, you never seen anybody on a YouTube channel like, Marquett's lying, Marquett's faking. You never saw that in your goddamn life. One, because most of the people I grew up with that I really mess with are actually dead. You know, like rappers say you're going to end up in jail or dead. Yeah, they're actually dead. Or they're in jail because they killed people like you. So I don't want to hear these people saying they came from nothing. You never seen nothing. You never done nothing. It's a different thing. When I tell you about Boss University, you're feeling feelings of inferiority. Bro, I grew up and I was inferior to the other kids in the ghetto because they might have a single mom. At least their mom was there. Mine was out on dope, like trying to chase a high, boy. I was by myself. So that's why I know how to get it on like nobody know how to get it on. Because I didn't have anybody in my corner. So when I teach you about how to be a boss, you learn from somebody who really knows how to get it in, who knows how to get it done by themselves. No help needed. So that's why when we talk about people like Gary Vaynerchuk, it's disgusting to me because it's like, Brody, if I dropped you out in this world and made you get it on with no help, no handouts, no advantages, you wouldn't survive. None of these balls will survive in my shoes, man. Knock it off. So when I teach you guys about Boss University, the first thing is to become a boss in here. Become a boss of yourself. And when you're certain of who you are, you never feel inferior. Ever. Like even when I'm around people who have significantly more money. I remember one of the first major investments I got from a guy who he founded. Listen, dude made 30 million when he was 24. I'm gonna just put it like that. He made 30 million when he was 24. I met him, he was in his late 30s. So we can imagine how his money added up by then. Did I feel inferior? No. Because where I started from, it's not about where you're at. It's about that distance. You hear me? We're all running a race, but I started so way far back. That distance I've ran is probably a greater distance than he's run. You see the distance when you grow up, and in his case, his parents were both educated professionals. We're talking doctors, things like this, lawyers, things like this. So when your mom's a doctor and your dad's a lawyer, and you have a multimillionaire family, and then you become like an 80 millionaire, that's a beautiful thing. I commend you. It's a beautiful thing. But the distance between coming from a multimillionaire family and amassing 80 million yourself, you did. That's impressive. That's very good. It's not an enormous distance though. But the distance of coming from what I came from and then getting to where I'm at now, bro, those are worlds away. Those are worlds away. Listen, those are worlds away. The distance I've come is like I've traveled through galaxies, Brody. I'm the only one that could really teach you how to get there. They don't know. They never been in a situation where the chips are down and you ain't got nobody to ask. They never been in a situation when you actually got to start from scratch, like start from nothing. They don't know nothing about that. Gary Vaynerchuk inherit a business talking about he knows how to tell you how to get out the mud. Boy, you don't know what the mud is. And if you in the mud, I guess I'm in the gutter. Huh? Like, man, they couldn't tell you how to do that. And that's why I start with mindset. Because listen, when you have nothing materially, the only thing you have is mindset. When you don't have any money or resources, the only thing you have is your mind. You have to create out of the mind. And shout out to Trump, man. He started with $1 million loan from his pops. Now he became a billionaire, which is very impressive, but he started with $1 million loan. Gary V started out with a business handed over. Now, who else you want to talk about? What other guru you want to pull out? They're all clowns. They all got fake stories, false narratives. Come on, man. Every last one of them. As soon as you start doing your research, you'll be able to find that one thing, that one very significant advantage where you're like, oh, that's how you won. That's how you won. Your uncle gave you your first real estate deal. Boom, that's how you won. Or you're like, oh, your mom introduced you to so-and-so because she was friends with them because they go to the same country club. Boom, that's how you won. With me, you're going to go through the whole story and be like, damn, this is some tragic shit. Like, I don't know how to forget making it. I don't know how the ball is sane. I don't know how his head is even screwed on right. All this stuff he done been through. But here's the thing. You guys go through, you're weak-minded. That's why I've Boss University, toughen you up. You go through and you call everything trauma. Bro, that's not trauma. That's life. Life involves challenges, pitfalls, setbacks, and it can also involve success if you would only stay focused and know that life is not all flowers, but you can make it pretty damn close to that. Guys call everything trauma now. People are super weak. They're super weak, man. But anyways, I just say that because it's like all these internet gurus, man, they so phony out here. And listen to me, man. When I tell you how to get it in, I don't tell you from the perspective of a guy who like went viral on YouTube and then became a successful YouTuber and is making a bunch of money on YouTube. And that's how he got it. Because listen, that's a rare thing. You guys will not be able to duplicate that. It will become increasingly harder to do that. Every time I meet somebody, they're like, oh, you're a podcaster. I'm thinking about starting a podcast. Say I was a doctor and I meet people and I say, oh, I'm a physician. They're not going to say, oh, you're a physician. I was thinking about becoming a physician, right? Because that involves work. It's hard. But you say you're a podcaster. Everyone wants to try it. Everyone's going to give it a shot. Whether they got talent, a stutter, they're ugly, they're going to all give it a shot. So that lets you know it's one of the most competitive environments. You're not going to win at it. And people often want to point out Kevin Samuels. Brody didn't even become successful till he had gray hair. You hear me? Bro had a head of gray hair when he became successful. And that was on YouTube. And that was due to a fluke. You heard me? I'm not saying he wasn't intelligent. He's clearly very intelligent. Shout out to Kevin. He's very intelligent, has good information. But what I'm telling you is that his whole life he suffered and then he hit it big on YouTube. So unless you're going to become a YouTuber, he doesn't have much he can teach you in terms of becoming financially successful. And he is a representation of most of the persons you would follow on YouTube. All they know is success on YouTube. You guys are not going to be entertainers. Y'all got to get real businesses, real jobs, real product-based businesses. Because I tell you what, this phone case, like forget the iPhone, look at the phone case. I don't even remember who I bought it from, but I'm sure they sold a bunch of them, and I'm sure they're a millionaire just off the selling cell phone cases. See, you don't have to be good looking, articulate, charming, and experienced to sell cell phone cases. And that's the opportunity that I give you guys. And Boss University is a psychological foundation so that you can believe in yourself, be able to self-manage so you can have the discipline to do the right things to add up some dollars. Come on, man. But we got a lot of goofballs out here, bro. Like I'm shocked that you guys follow the stuff you guys follow. It disgusts me. I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes I'm like, damn, should I even be YouTubing? I can't even believe they compare me to these rascals. Shout out to Carter, sends in by a Venmo. I'm like, yo, how they compare me to these rascals? Like, I'm clearly super player. How the hell y'all look at these dudes who are clearly nerds talking about how to get women? You're like, bro, like this nigga don't get women. Or he only get them because he got money. You hear me? Like, I wouldn't want to learn from a guy like that because most of you guys are not balling. So why are you going to learn how to get girls from a guy who only gets girls because he has money? What can you learn from him? You don't have money. So you can't use his method. And everything else he's talking, he's just making up, or he's saying something he read, or he's repeating down something I said, the watered down version. You heard me? It sounded a little sloppy, less player. Come on, man. Let's talk about that part. Ask any one of them, like, were you homecoming king? Were you like voted Mr. Heartthrob in high school? Were you like what is the evidence that you really do this before YouTube? What's the evidence that this is in your blood? None, because it's not. You heard me? Listen, if you're going to learn basketball, learn from Michael Jordan. Don't learn from the goddamn ball boy. Don't learn from the nigga that mop up after the NBA games. Come on, man. Authenticity is what I'm saying. On school.com/Marquett, if you go to courses, there's a course on how to get started with product-based business, particularly with less than $500. It takes you through how to identify trending products. So it gives you specific information on that. And also, I'll go ahead and release some of the product opportunities I have to the members. If you guys would remind me, I actually got 2 product ideas that are that have not been released. I've mentioned them, but I haven't released the exact opportunity and the manufacturer. So I'll put that up for people to take hold of that and get some practice. So if you guys will remind me a couple of times, I'll get that up for you guys. And there you go. School.com/Marquett. And I encourage everyone who even has an inkling that they could be a proper entrepreneur to get into product-based business. If you're not an entrepreneur, and we're not all entrepreneurs, you see, I don't lie to you guys and say everyone's going to be a millionaire. Everyone can be an entrepreneur. No, that's a lie. But if you're not going to be an entrepreneur, I encourage you to follow some of the wisdom I've shared recently, which is if you have a job, you should still be applying for new jobs. You should be asking for promotions on a regular basis. You should be tracking your financial contributions to the bottom line of that company so you can increase your salary and your title and respect. And you should also be a very good financial steward, minding your finances. And I have a lesson on personal finance management, which is to say, how do you allocate your monthly or weekly budget? And there's kind of 2 pieces to it. I talk about when you're on your come up, this is how you should allocate your resources. And then once you're established, this is how you should allocate the percentages of your spend. So not all of us are going to live in the same way or find our happiness in the same way. So we need to be real about what's going to make sense for us. And those who are honest and true leaders, they're going to tell you that. They're not going to act like one size fits all. You hear me? You don't go into the New Era store and everybody wear the same ball cap. Carrying on.
The entire concept of Boss University is that you must first be a boss of yourself. What is a boss? A boss can get outcomes. You can get someone to do something. So if you can't get yourself to do certain things, whether it's wake up early, exercise, avoid rich foods, avoid soda, sugars, intoxicants, avoid loose women, if you cannot be the boss of yourself, you will never effectively be the boss of much else. That course is a masterwork. And one thing I want to say, which is radically different from all the persons who create courses on the online space, I'm the only one who actually is professionally trained to be a teacher or an instructor. That's number 1. And then number 2, I'm giving you courses in something that I am trained to do and have been paid to do, which if I give you business education or if I teach you public speaking, I am the best public speaker on the planet Earth. That's number 1. And moreover, in terms of business education, I've gotten checks from Northwestern University in Chicago, from other universities. I'm not going to name all of them, but Northwestern, if you know that one, that's very prestigious. I've spoken at their business school, a bunch of schools throughout the country and the world. Koonguk University, that's in South Korea, universities in China as well. So I am an invited lecturer around the world in tech and business, and I get paid to do that. So I do this at a professional level, whereas other people, they're just creating courses, but they're not quite qualified. I say that to say when I create something for you, it's high quality.
And with regards to this overall question on priorities and time management, I have a specific lesson in Boss University. And I don't know if you have Boss University, maybe you do, but there's a specific lesson that actually answers this question in detail. And I highly recommend you check it out. And when you take that new view of time and priorities, it will really allow you to be more stress-free, have greater levels of focus, and get greater outcome from the minutes you invest in a given pursuit. I'm extremely proud of that product. Boss University, I'm very proud of. It's an extensive course. It's very rigorous. It takes you into a number of critical areas, starting with self-improvement, self-awareness, talks about relationships, talks about business, ends with self-sustainability. These are the categories. Self-sustainability. Marquett, well, what do you mean? Meaning that if you think you're going to hustle like me, you got to have a plan for the marathon. You got to have a plan to fight 15 rounds. Yeah, because it's going to require you to stay after it. Shout out to Josiah. He had just messaged me. He said, hey, man, it's been a pleasure to be on this journey with you, because we're talking about how the Ukrainian folks were dealing with, tried to defraud me. And he's saying, I didn't expect there to be so many challenges in business. I said, oh, yeah, absolutely. This is the name of the game. Sometimes it's like this, and sometimes it just goes swimmingly, and it's very smooth, and the dough flows in quickly. And sometimes it's not the case. I said, but the beautiful thing is that, like love, when you get it right, boom, that's all you needed. You just need that one hit. Boom, hit this out of the park. Home run. We're good now. And persistence overcomes resistance. That's what it is. Persistence overcomes resistance. Yes, if you're struggling with self-esteem, if you're struggling with self-identity, if you're struggling with managing yourself, you need Boss University. That's what it was created for. Become the boss of yourself. Come on now.
If you have Boss University, which I presume maybe you don't have Boss University, you've not taken it. In Boss University, we talk about time versus priorities. So for those of you who haven't gotten to Boss University, I highly recommend it. You'll understand yourself better. You'll be able to influence yourself so that you can really get to the boss's level. And also you'll understand other human beings a little bit better. So from Boss University, there's a great lesson on time and priorities. Let me simply say, at the highest level, everyone is cheating or lying, end quote. That's a quote from Boss University. And I highly recommend you review that lesson on a regular basis. And that's one of the lessons in Boss University that really that's the kind of thing that bleeds into the Book of Dark Truths, that kind of knowledge.
I also acknowledge via PayPal. Shout out to Clay. He's been coming in a lot lately. He writes, Peace of the Saints. Would you recommend to someone who's aspiring to be great to take the Master Communicator course first, then Boss University? No, I would recommend you take Boss University first. Now, mind you, this is how pure I am when I talk to you. The Master Communicator course is more expensive, so it makes me more money. Okay, let's be clear. My Master Communicator course makes me more money. I'm telling you, don't take it if you haven't taken Boss University and your goal is to be great, truly great, not to look great, not to sound great, but to actually be great. Start with Boss University, because Boss University starts with the inside of you, makes it real so you don't pretend. A lot of people are concerned with image rather than substance. So that's my recommendation. Take the Boss University course first. Thank you for asking.
Shout out to the haters, man, because the haters go to the metaverse to try to drag your boy through the dirt. They go to the metaverse, man. But the thing is, if you're like, Marquett's arrogant, it's like, that's fine, but look at what the nigga done. Like he's come from quite a distance. Like, and he can point to specific things like, yo, look, I did this, I did that. This is all fickle and fake, because I don't perceive like making a video or making a live stream to be a real value add, because I'm used to very tangible value adds. And that's why I always talk to you guys about product-based business, products. Like, here's a product. I actually punched my speed bag off of the goddamn thing. So this is a terrible product, but the fact is it is a product indeed. And products pay, whether people like you or don't like you, products pay. So I still do product-based business. I still do business in general. I still invest. I'm still acquiring assets. I'm still doing all of the things that will keep me paid and keep my money machines rolling without YouTube. And I've not invested fully in YouTube because I don't trust it. I do not trust it. I don't trust the people who own YouTube, the Google corporation. I don't trust the fans. I don't trust nothing about it. So the fact that I'm 4 years in and I still am like, wow, this is a privilege. It's a privilege for me to be able to speak to you. It's your privilege to hear. It's my privilege to speak. We are both privileged, and privileges can get taken away at any moment. Think about that. I can tell this thing is fickle and I offer real value. There's a legion of people who will tell you, I took Boss University, changed my whole perspective. My money game went up immediately. It showed me how to ask for a promotion because I first studied the part about how to conduct yourself in a professional environment, and then I knew how to present myself to get the promotion. Or someone will say, hey, I did a consultation with Marquett. I did 3 consultations. I created a product-based business. I'm making $30,000 per month. Those are true stories. Got another guy, lives in Dubai. He's making 6 figures ever since I put him on. I'm offering tangible value that I also used to get paid for before YouTube, you see? Because I was a businessman. People pay me for consultations before YouTube. So I say that to say,
Boss University, and Boss University takes you to the inner world. What's inside of you? Who are you? What's great about you? How do you manage the self? How do you make sure that you have energy in this marathon called life? How do you control your psychology? How do you self-improve? Boss University is about you making yourself a boss so that you might be worthy of ruling over others or leading others. It teaches you about entrepreneurship. It teaches you about a lot of things. The Book of Dark Truths is about the outside world. Why did that guy say that? Why did that bad thing happen, but nobody wanted to help afterward? Or why did that bad thing happen and then everybody wanted to help afterward? Why is so-and-so not being honest? Is there ever a time in which I should not be honest? If I were in the curious position of not being honest, how do I do that effectively? Is there ever a time to thug your way through? Book of Dark Truths helps you understand the real world out there. The real world. The Book of Dark Truths is a practical guide to understanding and navigating in the real world. I'll even give you some more game that's covered in the Book of Dark Truths. Well, how do you collaborate with a woman that you're dating? How do you get volunteer labor for your company? Labor you don't have to pay for. How do things evolve over time with regards to your woman and your business or your woman and your money? What precautions do you take when you move in with a woman? I go through practical, do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. I got a decision matrix on, if you got to make a tough decision, how do I decide which might be the right path? And we explain it and go through it. So it's quite involved.
And your mindset also decides how you will enjoy the process. Because the best thing you can do as a young person, because you're inexperienced, is to get into a high growth business or get into a business where you can experience the business from the bottom to the top, which is to say from the janitor to the CEO, and learn something. Before I built my first tech company, I worked for a tech company. I did business development. I managed the entire state of Oregon, the entire state of Washington, and then Northern California. I did sales or business development. And I also did onboarding. So once we sold the enterprise solution, I also onboarded the users. I also did PR as well. And so I got a lot of different pieces of experience to be successful in that business. And then I said, I can do this for myself. Why not? Let's get after it. The truth of the matter is, if we're keeping it a bean out here, money's not everything, but it's pretty damn important. You guys might say, Marquett, it sounds like you're just like really focused on money. No, I'm not. It's just that without money, what can you really do? Like, unless you're a farmer, right? If you're a farmer, fantastic. But if you're not a farmer, it turns out you need money to eat. You need money to have a roof over your head. You need money to go out on dates. You need money to do most of the things we need to do in the modern economy. So it's just an acknowledgement of reality, and in stating your wealth goal explicitly. And in Boss University, we talk about how to organize that. But in stating that explicitly and being aware of it, that actually empowers you to be able to achieve it. It's the people who don't really believe and think that they can actually do it. They're scared to say what that goal is. They're scared to put it down on paper. They're scared to step forward and say, I'm going to try, even if I don't make it. They're scared. That's all that is. Come on now. You got to take a shot.
Someone who's a real man and is moving in that trajectory is going to say, thank you for the feedback. Point taken. I understand your point. I get it. You don't just disappear like a broad. You don't cower away. You stand tall. I was wrong. Thank you for that correction. Boom. Done.
Shout out to Joe Lacuto. He writes, saying I need to get my drip up. Hey, if you feel that way, then it's probably true. He writes, what are your recommendations for a young man, both casual and professional? If we talking professional, we talking about getting suited and booted, then you got to do it the right way, like you're doing it for TV, which means that you need to get it custom, handmade from scratch. Let's not play games with that. That's why I took people on the drip trip. You know, I couldn't in good conscience recommend that you get a suit off the rack. That wouldn't be right. I ain't gonna have you looking like Kevin Samuels out here. You hear me? I'm gonna have you looking super player. Anyways, aside from that, oh, and God bless the dead. Moreover, when he says in terms of casual, will depend on what that budget look like. You heard me? Because it's all kind of ways you can go, and there are certain things that impress a hoe. You know that they like brands, you dig? And if you know how to take the brands and then you drape them on yourself in a beautiful way, then you really got action. But the budget is critical. Now we got to know if we got the budget or if we don't got the budget. He writes, should I look at places outside of the country for clothes made from scratch? Absolutely, brethren. It's not worth it to get a suit made in the US, because 9 out of 9, and I say this is one with experience, you go get a suit made in New York or Chicago, what they really do is they'll take the measurements, then they'll send off the measurements to Pakistan, and they'll make the first version, they'll send it back to the States, and then the master tailor will alter it. So trust me, you're being scammed. That's why their service always takes like 3 weeks. You heard me? Because they sending it off, and that's the true story. And when I show you guys things like this, I'm not trying to show off. Rather, I'm trying to inspire you, show you what you can attain, show you what's out there for you. Because if you would have asked me, say 10 years ago, I don't think I knew that you could get a hotel room with a sauna in it. I don't think I knew you get a hotel with a pool table in it, or a hotel with a massage room in it, or a hotel with its own gym, a hotel room with its own private gym in it. Is there anything else we've done that I missed out on?
A hotel over water.
Oh yeah, hotel, yeah, all that.
Okay, we have Damian Platt sent a super chat. He said, my man looking pimpy.
Truly appreciate it. Peace to the saints, you dig? This is a nice, simple little bedroom, and it's funny when you really look at it, is this room itself is usually what most people's hotel is, whereas this is just a section of this particular suite, and the view here is even better. And this is, I just love being here, working, and having the privilege, I guess not a privilege because it's earned, but having this gorgeous site. And this is the bright lights big city, you dig, more than any other city. And so when the night falls and those lights go bright, it's enchanting, and it reminds you of how far you've come. So I really enjoy this view, and I share it with you not to be boastful, but so that it can be done, so that you just gotta want it. Oh, it can be done. Last time I checked, money making was a good thing. You heard me? What planet are we on? Last time I checked, somebody getting to the bag, they getting after what they should be getting after. Last time I checked. So since when do we criticize that kind of thing? When do we hate people for earning? Like, word? I think it's worth doing a little bit of show and tell. So as I said, here's some Polish currency here. And here is some whoa, what do we got here? That just fell out. That's a pity. Here's some Singaporean currency. These are Singapore dollars right here. So you see that these things tend to be multicolor. Are these Singapore? Yeah, Singapore dollars. So these things are multicolor. So quite beautiful for the other currencies in the world, no doubt. I'd say like most of them look much better than our own. But our own is unique in that it's uniquely ugly. It's uniquely monochrome in the coloration. So very simple. Ours do not tend to have buildings on them or animals, or in Africa, you'll see animals in Brazil, and you'll see animals on other people's currency. This is the country of Georgia right here. And so you see these multicolors and different sizes as well. The Japanese currency is quite fascinating. Here's Japan. It really looks old world, but you see they have the animals and different. You'll see architecture and things like that on different currencies. But anyways, our currency is iconic. No one else's currency is iconic. You hear me? I don't want to hear if somebody else said oh, the euro is iconic, please stop. No, them Benjis are iconic. You dig? Them Benjis are iconic. So with that being the case, these are dirhams from the United Arab Emirates. Most famous city you might know from there is Dubai. So these are dirhams. And as they have like random cultural items on it. They don't necessarily always have like a man's face. I think that's something very fascinating about the European mindset. And I think the European mindset, especially historically, has been, these folks are pretty smart. They're pretty sharp. Not today, but they've been pretty sharp. And here's Kenya. It's African currency, obviously, in the country of Kenya. And there you go, a lion. That's keeping in line with stereotypes, right? Then you have the Swiss franc. This is a fine currency. Like, I would for sure be down to load up on Swiss francs, right? That's a good one. So another franc, yes. So anyways.
They'll never get it. We getting into it today. We're going deep. Pause. I think Tommy might have liked that. You heard me? Tommy and them other guys, I like people to fiddle around with their backside. Getting excited watching this. It's a shame. It's a shame. Also, may I say one more thing? When you look at all these other rascals, you wonder why they don't stand on principle, mostly because they're broke and ugly. And don't trust people who are broke and ugly. But the fact of the matter is this: they came here for a cash grab. All you have to do is look at their word. Look, what were they before YouTube? What were they before they started babbling in front of a microphone? Nothing. Nothing. Every single one of them. Anytime you find someone who was something before they came on YouTube, they're always more civil. These guys will say and do anything for content. What does that translate to? Money. Ads. They want views because they're running ads on the channel. What do views and like matter to me? There's no ads on this channel. Hundreds of millions of views. No ads. Doesn't make me a penny. I talk to you because I have something to say. If you're like, Marquett's arrogant, it's like, that's fine, but look at what the nigga done. Like, he's come from quite a distance. Like, well, what do you mean, Marquett? When I was born, my father was in prison for selling crack cocaine, youngin. When I was born, my mother was on crack cocaine. I'm an actual crack baby. I went to horrible public schools in Los Angeles. I grew up part-time with my grandmother who had dementia. If I can make it, you can make it. I am the American dream. I am the result of intelligence and hard work consistently applied. You hate on someone like me, you hate yourself. That's all there is. You hate yourself. I'm the American dream. So when you see somebody like me, you got to respect it, man. If you can't respect it, there's something wrong with you. And you going to rock with him over the big homie? Bruh, it's crazy. Now, granted, it's a minority of people. It's a minority of people. But you still have to question the society we live in where we prize weakness and gossip among males instead of prizing men who are action-oriented, the doers in the society. Huh? The world's sick out here. We got a sick world out here. Anyways.
You track a lot of these YouTubers, you track their background. They were on like dating shows, they're on reality TV. They wanted to be famous. No, I never wanted to be famous. Not at all. I have bigger goals and more important things to do than YouTube on a regular basis. And so I always prioritize those things. When I stop to talk to you guys, that is me taking a break from a beautiful life. And so if I can unpack or knock out two things at once, I have to, because I'm that busy. I'm not like those nerds that are in their studio 24/7, they never go anywhere. I've been to 7 countries already, 7 countries in the last couple weeks. So I'm moving very quickly for good reason. So that is why, if you want quality content where I sit down, take out time, go through lecture notes, become a member at thesassin.com. That's thesasn.com. If you want quality, focused information, purchase one of the mini courses. If you want free information, then you're going to get free information at my convenience because I am a busy businessman. And that's just the fact of the matter. You might consider being thankful. You heard me? You might consider being thankful and ask yourself, okay, what have I done for Marquett Burton? Not a damn thing. He doesn't even know my name. I've never done anything for him, but I've watched his content for 4 years, never sent in a single dollar. You have no right to complain. You should just be thankful. So I want you guys all to go through your life with a sense of being thankful. It's important, okay?
Shout out to those really supporting. And also shout out to the freeloaders who haven't clicked the like button or anything. They're like, look, Marquett, I have no respect for anything on earth. I'm not clicking the like button. I'm not sending $1. I'm just here. F everybody. A shout out to them too. We need you. I make videos. I make live streams.
But the big difference is that I spend time in real life. I spend time on the phone. I spend time on text, unpaid time, because I care. And it has so much ROI. And the most important thing that I'm trying to do is to create an example. But what I'm about at this stage in life is not making millions of dollars. I'm about making millionaires. I want to help the rich get richer. You dig? Yeah, people who are rich in spirit, who are rich in ambition, come to me. I want to make you richer.
And there's a lot of you like that. You're going to do so much in the world. And if I can help you magnify what you're going to do or be more confident in your approach, I feel like I've really brought some gifts to the world, you see. And of course, as have your parents. But if I can help unwrap it, man, that's an honor. That is an honor. If I can be a footnote in your life story when you write it, I'm happy.
And when I brag, when I really do my real bragging, I'm bragging on what I've contributed to other people, because that's the greatest measure. I'm bragging on the goodness that I've put out in the world. That's the greatest measure.
I hear from a lot of you, whether it's on one-on-one consultations, which if you would like, you can book at thesasson.com. That's THESASN.com.
I'm in product-based businesses, which is why I'm able to travel around the world at my whim. I don't have to actually show up anywhere. So that's number one. But what I encourage people when they're first starting off in business in a given pursuit is pick the easy route. Don't pick the hard route. So it's much wiser to spend your time, evaluating at the beginning, evaluating which business to go into, as opposed to evaluating how to make a tough business an easy business. I hope that makes sense to you. Someone who's a real man and is moving in that trajectory is going to say, thank you for the feedback. Point taken. I understand your point. I get it. Learn from what I have to tell you, and also follow in my footsteps in as much as I don't complain. I stay positive, but that doesn't mean that one isn't going through things that can make another man crumble. So follow that.
When people are thinking about becoming a millionaire, it almost saddens me, in as much as what you really need to be thinking about is how to get a product that is going to make you a bunch of money. How do you scale a product? When people are thinking about being a millionaire, they're thinking about the fruits of the labor, but they really need to be thinking about the labor. You need to be thinking about the labor, not the fruits of the labor. If you can focus on that labor and sustain and endure through boredom and tedium and challenge, then you're going to be successful. And truth be told, if people made $200,000 per annum, $300,000, $400,000 per annum, their lifestyle would be tremendous and they'd be very happy. And it'd be very easy to scale up to $1 million. But I think that's really, the real life. And I try not to make those sensational titles, how to become a millionaire in 5 days type stuff. But I get you, though. I get you, bro. And maybe I'll use that title. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to screenshot that. Maybe I need to do that.
Very few people are going to be there with you to build a foundation. Very few people want to invest in you when you don't have anything to show. Very few people are going to believe in your idea. Very few people are going to support you. Everyone's going to wait until you win. And then they're going to be like, well, you're smart. I always knew you were going to win. You're ambitious. You're a hustler. I always knew you were going to be successful. And you're like, nah, bro, you didn't know that. You didn't feel that way. Nah, you did not feel that way until I made a bunch of money. And now you're like all on my meat, like you always knew. Nah, you didn't always know. There's just a couple people who really going to rock with you based off of your character from the beginning. And here's the thing. If nobody rocks with you, that's fine. That's fine. So you just got to go ahead and get it done. The manosphere lies and claims that it's just the women waiting at the finish line to choose the winners. No, when people get across that finish line and everyone knows they're a winner, everyone all of a sudden wants to be around them. Just like I told you when I was sitting in that parking lot and a neighbor I'd seen many times, he never really says much. And then he see me in the whip and he's like, oh, that's my favorite car. Oh, hey, man, what's your name? Like, nah, bro, like kill it. Knock that off, man. This is why I never go to the events in this building, because like I'm not trying to slap fives and be buddy with y'all, because this is where y'all live. This is just where my studio is. You dig? So we don't need to slap fives. Everyone wants to choose the winners and be cool with the winners at the end of the race. That's not just women. No one wants to build a foundation with you. And you'd be a wise person to get in at the foundation level. And I'm going to make some contributions there. And the reason you would do that is because you come in early enough at the foundation and you're going to be appreciated. You might even get some equity in the business, and no one wants to come in at the foundation. That's how you get in and you become the 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 guy, fifth guy in a company called Facebook, Apple, and all this other stuff. Because here's the thing, when Zuckerberg was him and his buddy and him and the Winklevoss twins, and it was like less than 5 people, nobody believed at that stage. When it was Steve Jobs and Wozniak, nobody believed at that level. So you go in and you put faith in people who are real hustlers and have good product. You have to be able to see talent and see people who are clever and know how to work hard. And more importantly, they know how to make adjustments. That's what being successful in a marketplace is about, making adjustments. You turn the hat from red to black. You turn the logo from a T to 2 a.m. You turn the logo from 4 different places where you got stitching to just 2. You've now reduced the cost of the product significantly. Those are the adjustments that turn you into a winner. You dig?
Your time on earth is valuable enough not to waste it, and your happiness is precious enough to prioritize it. 3-sentence Bible: be yourself, be good to yourself, and be good to good people. Walk that path. You don't have to walk someone else's path. Wishing you much success.
I'm proud of each and every one of you when I see you succeed. I love to hear you guys talk fly. It's encouraging.
At the end of the day, if one is qualified to be the king, then he can deal with all things involved in being a king: a king's appetite, a king's burdens, and a king's privileges. So I appreciate that. And that's why I always remind you, gentlemen, you guys are leaders, and everything that is involved with you being a man, that is an appropriate weight for you. It's not too much weight. It's an appropriate weight, and you should enjoy lifting it. But yeah, Saints, this is how we live in. You dig? What are people talking about?
People like your coat. Someone said, get the damn likes up.
Oh, as they should, because the funny thing, you have so many fake ballers on the internet. You got so many fake gurus. People ought to show respect for the genuine article. You dig? Everything's going to work out. Don't stress. Don't feel like you're struggling. And number 2, to enjoy the whole way through. Enjoy every moment of it. You won't always have your hair. You won't always have your good looks. You won't always have your strength. You won't always have certain friends. They'll be deceased. So every moment, enjoy it in the present and live it like it's the last one.
And I just want to encourage you guys to seek greater meaning. There's so many of these clowns on the internet that are talking about, I want to be a millionaire. I'll teach you how to be a millionaire. Or I'm going to be a billionaire. It's like, getting money is fantastic. I highly recommend it, but that's not the measure of a man or of anything. So sometimes you go brain dead watching life, forgetting to live life. What I mean is that you should be asking yourself, am I watching life right now, or am I living life? And every time you should be trying to live life.
Ladies and saints, let us end this with our tradition.
The creed of the assassin. Repeat that. Oh, and just before we get into that, let me say, follow that 3-sentence Bible. That 3-sentence Bible will keep you safe and prosperous, okay? That 3-sentence Bible is not there for no reason. Be yourself, be good to yourself, be good to good people. You follow that, you will not have any problems. It will wipe away all challenges. Be yourself, be good to yourself, be good to good people. And if you need me to interpret that, let me know. But we tried to keep it simple for you. Now, let us end with our tradition, the creed of the assassin. Repeat after me with full conviction, knowing this is true of you. The creed of the assassin.
I am going to be who I truly am.
Because I am remarkable.
And I'm going to strive every moment
To show the greatest part. Show the greatest part.
to show the greatest part of who I am.
It has truly been a pleasure. It has truly been a pleasure today. Until next time.